It's game time?
About almost. Like the next 10 seconds. Let me just make sure it works. Okay, yeah, we're live. Hi guys, make sure we're live. Welcome back. You got Vinny back on the show. It's been a while. It's been a while. He's only gonna be here for the first half hour.
But I'm here.
Yeah, first 20 minutes to a half hour.
I'm currently present.
And Jake's gonna be on the full hour.
That's what's up.
You know, but I had to include both of them. We're hanging out. I was like, let's go, guys. Let's do an episode. I was like,
and we were just studying for the fire exam.
Yeah, so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Followed by some fun with Parrot AI.
Yeah. We'll just say we had some fun with AI.
We won't get into it though.
Yeah. Before we get full on into the show, you guys want to you've been on the show before, but you guys want to give like a little quick introduction for anyone that's new?
It's been a bit since you've been here, Vinny. Why don't you kick it off?
Yeah.
So I'm Vinny. I obviously go to this school. I'm an education major, and I'm currently also trying to become a fireman, just like I said. And it's baseball season, guys. That's all.
That isn't description. After the Let's Go Mets in all caps, it says baseball season's back. I had to be biased a little bit. Come on.
A little bit.
Had to be a little biased.
Just slightly.
Just a teensy bit.
A tad.
But I did say baseball season is back.
Indeed.
So I am I'm Jake. The reason for my constant clearing of the throat is that I've been out with the flu for a few days, but I'm back in black. Quite literally, as you can see with my attire here. And good to be here. Similar to Vinny, I'm planning to go into teaching, but also like Vinny, taking the firefighter exam tomorrow.
He follows me.
Yep, fingers crossed. Wish us luck.
Yeah, we need the luck and prayer.
Yeah, and we're just glad to be here with Pete, talk about sports, movies, whatever. And we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah,
and just fool around, frankly.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I introduced this last week, but we're gonna have a segment. Whoever's in seat number 1, there's a 10-minute segment where we mess around with the voice changers. It's the best segment of the show because it's a normal segment, but we just randomly press a button on the voice changer. Here's an example. Say something.
Hi.
There's an example.
Assemble the minions.
Whoever sits in that seat. Sorry, it was James. He just asked if I could leave the equipment on. I was like, yeah, sure. So we're here. We'll do baseball with Vince here because I know that's his like field of like what he knows the most about.
Yeah.
I'll let him take the reins. What do you want to talk about? Baseball. Anything. Any team doesn't matter.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say Will Warren?
Yes.
Jake, speak.
Will.
Well,
he's not just in that seat too.
No. The only one that's in that seat is the actual changes. The sensor. Okay. Both of you guys get messed around.
That was my tough cookies. My bad, guys. Go ahead.
So
go ahead. Cook.
You can take the reins for the baseball segment. Yeah, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Garrett Cole is making his spring training debut tonight. He is facing the Blue Jays at 6:35 tonight. Aaron Judge is allegedly coming back tomorrow from his offseason long reflection on dropping the fly ball in Game 5. So let's hope he could be better in right field now because our new guy, Cody Bellinger, has been hitting pretty well. So, yeah. And I opened my phone not too long ago, and I see Juan Soto hit a home run for the Mets. So that made my day, too. So life as a Yankee fan, to sum it all up, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster. Yeah.
I mean, I will say, even though I'm not a Yankee fan and I don't really like them, they did make good moves.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think they're better without Soto, but I think they made moves to fill out the roster more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I think I don't think there's a way you could say that they're better off without Soto just for the talent that he is.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some people say they are. I'm like, it's an opinion, but in a logical sense, I feel like unbiasedly, it's very hard to say they are.
Yeah, there's no rationalizing that they're not. But I will
they
say,
could still. Sorry for cutting you off. They could still be a 90-win team, 100-win team.
I feel like the departure of Soto was needed in a way. It definitely wasn't needed, like, realistically, but to fill out all the other holes in the field, like
Yeah.
first base, an outfield position, another starter, and a reliever, they did really great this offseason with, the additions of
I
Freed and
think-
Williams and
I think if they would have signed him to the 16,760
15. Yeah.
or 15,750,
Yeah.
whatever they offered him,
He was like 751, I think.
whatever they offered him, I feel like if they would have signed him to that, they wouldn't have made the moves to get Bellinger. They wouldn't have filled out like the holes in the outfield
Exactly.
with Bellinger. They wouldn't have got. I know it's still a hole, but they wouldn't have got Goldschmidt. They wouldn't have got Freed.
Yeah.
They would have spent all that money, and they would have had to go spend a lot lighter than what they did.
Exactly. And
They
that's why.
spent that $700 million across 4 or 5 players instead of one.
Exactly.
So that's why it's like you said, it was needed in a way, but it also wasn't the best thing to happen for them.
Yeah.
Because you're losing a superstar, generational talent
Mhm.
that helped guide you to a World Series appearance.
Yeah. Yeah. And now these Yankee fans are switching up, making all these narratives. Oh, Soto in Citi Field, he's going to hit less home run. It doesn't matter. He's going to have a career year next year. And,
Well, and then there's always, excuse me, there's always the, I have to do it, Peter. And so
That was Vinny.
that was me.
that was you?
Don't
That
blame
was him
him.
making fun of you.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to do it, Vinny.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna adjust the mic here. So, okay, train back into the station. What I like to say too in these situations is, you don't know what happens till it happens. Like, yeah, I do think that the idea of like, oh, Soto's gonna do horrendous, that's BS. And we actually know someone who has said that. We won't say who it is, but
Who said that?
well, I can't. I don't want to divulge,
familiar face.
divulge his name on.
Let's
Reveal-
just say
reveal
you
your
see it when you
sources.
wake up and when you go to bed.
Reveal your. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like that's not true, but we also don't know that it's going to be that'll be the best thing since sliced bread. So I think we just have to see how it turns out. I think it's definitely at the moment a logistical advantage for the Mets, certainly. But we've had some cool moments in in spring training too. I saying Will Warren to Vinny earlier. He got four strikeouts recently.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah, he looked good.
He developed
that
a
I'm
new
happy about.
pitch this
Yeah.
offseason, and now they're comparing him to Michael King.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So
The Yankees pitching lab is insane. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so
both-
we don't have
both-
much hitting, but
both-
like the pitching is really good.
Both New York teams' pitching labs are insane.
It's
Like,
awesome. Awesome. Matt Blake is just a genius.
sure.
Blake's a genius, and then it's same thing with the Mets. They have an insane pitching lab. That's
Yeah.
why they signed like
Clay
Holmes
Yeah.
and Frankie. I mean, Montas is hurt, but they
Clay
signed
Holmes has looked great, man.
and Montas.
Oof.
Those guys in that pitching lab could work.
Yeah.
Because look what they did last year with Severino Manaea. They had not career years, but they rebounded their careers.
And Quintana was really solid too.
And Quintana was
Yeah.
I forget about Jose Quintana.
He's
Thanks for
still a
bringing him
free
up.
agent out there.
But you look at those two guys in the Mets pitching lab,
Yeah.
per se. They had not career years, but they had great years. And I'm sure if it was the Yankees, same way, they would have had great years.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I just think Severino was shot, and he just needed that change of scenery.
He needed it desperately.
He needed that
And,
change of scenery.
Yeah, while we're on the Mets side of this, Griffin Canning, he was a low leverage signing. I think he's going to be really big too down the stretch.
That's going to help because I think that's a guy you could throw to the bullpen
Yeah.
once you get a fully healthy rotation. Because right now, your number one is going to be Senga, your number two is going to be Peterson, your number three is going to have to be Clay Holmes by default.
Yeah, for right now.
See, I feel like with Clay Holmes though too, if he starts to struggle and you get your healthy pitching back, he could also be a guy that you switch to the bullpen.
He's
you
got
could put him
experience
back.
there. It's honestly a really
You could
good,
put him back, and he's not going to have the pressure of closing games and
Right.
blowing saves.
Yeah. He's a great setup man for the Yankees. Every time he pitched the eighth inning, it would be a
I
zero.
mean, I know a lot of Yankee fans hated him because he blew saves,
well,
but
12.
a lot of
that's also in the
12.
ninth inning.
Yeah,
see,
I think
Jake's
it was
one of
like-
those fans that remember.
You
Yeah,
keep
but,
just-
like-
Pepperidge Farm, remember
What I was
guys.
gonna say is, like, aside from the blown saves, which
Yeah.
obviously is a ridiculous thing, he did have an under 3 ERA still.
yeah. No,
So he was a good reliever. Once they moved him to the setup, man, he was very good in the playoffs.
Yeah. You
He
know,
just wasn't a close. He just couldn't be a closer.
Yeah, kind of the opposite of what Judge had.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, Jake. I was having a great day until you brought up Aaron Judge.
All right.
Come on, man.
All right. But hey, like I said on the last show, he's got the dad strength now. Maybe he'll grow a goatee. You never know.
He's not growing it. He actually just said in like a tweet he's not growing a beard.
He's gonna
Really?
abide by
Yeah.
the facial hair beard.
He's actually
Aw.
just gonna.
I think it'd be cool.
I really think it's gonna be the
That
newer
would've been
guys that they
great.
signed. I don't
Um,
think like the guys that are there are really gonna.
I've
worry
already
about
got a beard.
so
They should sign
Rodon, Rodon already announced that he's growing a beard. Devin Williams is gonna go back.
Rodon Williams, because
Dominguez looks like he's actually growing it back.
It's like the NFL draft. Whether these guys are going to have beards or not.
Wells is going to
Cole
grow
might
it back.
bring it back.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Astros Cole. I mean, I know they have the repercussions, but
Is
Astros
the
Cole
hair?
would be
Can they have
awesome.
longer hair too, or they just have to have the crew cut hair and they just let the grow beards out?
So there's some parameters they have to follow. I'm not sure if Garrett
Yeah.
Cole could grow his hair all the way down.
Because I was
again.
gonna say, I wonder if Cole could grow the flow out and go full 2019
I wish.
Astros.
I wish.
Because that was
would be
aura,
great.
man.
Yeah, he had a lot
That
of
was
aura.
aura.
A lot of aura. Oh my gosh.
Max Aura.
Yeah, it was. He had max
Yeah.
aura with that.
I prefer minimum aura.
Just like
I
Jake.
re-
Jake has no aura.
Hey, but I got a beard, kind of. Yeah.
The kiss shirt kind of
Yeah,
adds
the
like
kiss
10 points
shirt.
of aura.
Yeah, which led to a nice conversation between my professor and I today. So
Shout out Robert, baby. Yeah.
that's funny. Anyway,
Funny.
Score update. Let's beat the National Spring Training 7-0.
Gentleman's clap.
Let's take a look. Let's see if there's any other games going on.
mine
Yeah,
look
I'll look as
unintentionally
well.
condescending, but
Yeah, let's just do a quick little MLB score update.
Phillies
just go on
are
my phone
leading
too.
the Red Sox 5-4 in the 7th. Twins are leading the
Yeah.
Orioles 10-5 in the 8th. The Pirates are up on the Rays 3-2 in the 8th. The Blue Jays are up 10-7 in the 8th, and I'll let
And
Peter do the rest. If there's any.
Atlanta is up above Miami 4-0.
The Astros beat the Cardinals 3-2.
Cincinnati, Oakland. Oakland.
The Rangers are up in the Cubs.
Yeah,
2-0
Cincinnati,
in
Oakland
the
is a
second.
2-1 game.
The Giants are up.
because I thought it was 1-0.
What was that?
I think they just scored because I'm pretty sure it was 1-0. Yeah,
Which game was this?
Oakland, Cincinnati. They
It's
literally
still 0-0 on mine.
it says 2-1 Oakland. They literally just scored 2 runs.
Let's see how they got it. Yeah. This is fun. Let's see.
The Giants and the Brewers 4-1.
Jacob Wilson single. Okay. Cool. Angels are up 2-0. Royals and Diamondbacks scoreless. Brewers Giants 3-0. Giants in the second. And Rockies and Guardians scoreless. I mean, we got all of them.
Yeah.
Later on, we got the Yankees and Blue Jays, the Dodgers and Angels, the Mariners and the Padres.
Those would be a good game.
Yeah.
For training or not, they're fun. It's fun to look at the scores. Just give updates.
I just love baseball. Glad it's back.
All right,
we got
let's
the list
go.
of standings here, but that's too long.
Yeah, well, that's
Are we serious, Jacob?
Jake, it's spring training. If you want to do standings, we could transition to hockey.
If you want to do standings, the Rockies going to win the spring
Well, if
training
I want to do
tournament.
standings, I'll just stand right now.
All right. I prefer sittings, so let's sit.
If you want, we
that's
can
it.
transition over to hockey. We can talk about the standings for that.
I'll watch. Why not?
Yeah,
Go Rangers, go.
So that was the
Yes.
baseball segment. Now we'll go to I'll lead for the hockey segment. So before anything, I'll just announce the games that are on tonight. You got Dallas and Los Angeles and Dallas at 8:00. The Wild and the Avalanche, 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus in Colorado. And then locally, you got the Rangers in Toronto, original 6 rivalry. Rivalry, more of a just original 6 matchup. 7:00 at the Garden. Projected to have Igor Shesterkin in that tonight. After playing back-to-back days, he's projected to go with 3 days of rest against Toronto. I don't know who Toronto's projected starter is. They have 3 guys listed here. I would say Joseph Wall, but they might go with Stolarz too. Rangers need to win every game they could against these top teams just to get back in the playoffs. They're 2 points or 4 points out. Let's look at the standings. Wild card.
I have an update about baseball. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
cut
go
you
ahead,
off. Aaron Boone had just announced that Luis Hill has been shut down and will get an MRI tomorrow. So a big hit for the rotation
Yeah.
and
No, it's always
possibly an
fun.
invite for Marcus Stroman to be back in the rotation. Sound the alarms. Sound the alarms. It's over. Eddie.
Wait, where is it? There's one I have for this.
The womp womp.
Yes.
Where is it?
Womp the button.
This gotta be a prank, man. And JT Brewbreaker broke 3 ribs trying to get it out of the way. This is wonderful, guys. Help me, Jake. The pain will never end, Jake. Okay, back to hockey.
Oh, nice. Now we'll go back to hockey. Unless any more
this is
baseball updates
terrible.
come up, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at the stand, I'll just look at we'll look at the standings really quick. The Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division, is Florida, the defending Stanley Cup champions. It's a point ahead of Toronto for first in the division. Tampa Bay's 3 points behind Florida, 2 points behind Toronto. That's a close division. A division when the lead is 3 points, and then for the playoff spot, from that division you have Detroit in the battle for a playoff spot. So you could have 4 teams from the Atlantic in the playoff. The Metropolitan, the Rangers division, is Washington's far and ahead. They're 12 points ahead of Carolina with 84. Carolina has 72, and New Jersey has 70. The wild card right now, as it stands right now, Detroit and Columbus are tied 66 points for the wild card spots. The Rangers 4 points out. Having a long break definitely put them back a little bit, but they have I believe they have a bunch of games in March. Like they don't really have a long break. Yeah, they have back-to-back Sunday and Monday, Wednesday. They play all next week and they play all the week after. So they have a lot of games against teams ahead of them that they could use points from. Hey, Jake, what do you think about the Rangers? And then we'll look at the Western Conference.
See, I got to do that every time I talk. Well,
Hi. That's so.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing.
Dom, I know you're watching this, buddy. Hi, how are you? That's a good one.
Shout out to the Dominator.
Hi, Dom. I know you're watching. I just want to tell you, I am getting into cards.
You can love this.
Okay. So, all right. So the Rangers. So yeah, I agree with what you said that they got to do whatever they can at this point. It'd be nice to see them, gain a little traction like they did last year because that was. I've said to these guys many times. My dad's a huge Rangers fan, so it was a lot of fun watching with him. So I'd like to get some of that action going again. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So see how that goes. What do you think about tonight, Pete?
Every game is a must-win game, so
Backs to the walls, guys.
Gotta win.
Backs to the walls.
If they don't make the playoff, it's their fault. It's not because they weren't competitive. Well, yeah, it is. It's because they weren't competitive for a month and a half straight. You go on a skid from mid-November all the way through December and half of January where you just lose. And at one point you were bottom 5 team in the league, point percentage and points earned. You were a bottom 5 team in the league. It's awesome, as a fan, it's awesome that they climbed themselves up from the bottom back into being the first team out of the playoff. But you just got to win. You got to beat Columbus 2 more times. And you got to beat whoever else is ahead of you.
Yeah, it was
division or not.
Yeah, it was like. Oh wait, I forgot. It was like when the calendar when the calendar when the calendar shifted. Something's going on there. I see his. When the calendar shifted to 2025, it was like there was like a reversal a little. All right, listen, you. All right.
Juan Soto is.
So, because when you have, when you had October to like what Pete said, like into a little bit into January, it was like, as Pete's and Vinny's family would say, "Oofa." It was rough, but then like But then, like, you did see like a bit of a shift, but it's like,
Yeah.
will that be enough to
They started 12-4-1.
right? So it's like
Midway through November, they were 12-4-1, and then just something happened, and they just like
like like that, and it's like, will their current the getting out of the funk? That's a terrible way to phrase it, but would that be enough to like propel them? Would that be
Yeah,
enough to get them
like-
over? We'll see.
they added JT Miller. That's a great move, but they still have questions in the bottom six. You traded out Filipino, so now you don't have a third line center. You have your fourth line centers playing third line minutes. You need a third line center still. So there's a couple spots they need improvement. They need defense. They need a defenseman because Ryan Lindgren is becoming unplayable. Even defensively, which he used to be great at defensively. He's become horrible defensively. He doesn't. Yeah, he's not what he was 2 years ago, and it drags down Adam Fox because Adam Fox has to pick up the slack for what Lindgren isn't doing. Miller's got to start playing. Keandre Miller got to play better. He plays too. He's good, but he plays inconsistent.
Yeah, you need someone who's, always on.
Are you wearing American
Like-
flag socks?
Yes,
am.
he is.
God bless the USA. I am a real American. Fight for what's right.
Hulk Hogan.
God bless America. God bless our troops. And start your engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
little Kevin James.
Hey, man, I like
Okay.
it.
But yeah, you need
2 minutes. Yeah, go
you
ahead.
need-
No, because I would have.
oh,
Yeah, no.
you want
4
to
o'clock
end
on
it,
the
Vinny?
dot.
You're leaving pretty soon.
All right, well, guys, it's almost 4, so
Yeah,
I
you
would like to
said,
tell y'all it was great coming back. I'll be on the show next week. It sucks being a Yankee fan, but it's great being with these two handsome men. Hope my girlfriend doesn't watch this. Yeah, so it was great talking to y'all. It was great talking baseball, and I'll see y'all next week. All right.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, take care, y'all.
See you, Vinny.
Later, bro. I'll see you later. All right.
Just pull the door closed. Nah.
That's funny. Oh yeah. Alrighty.
I'm glad he came on.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It really has been a while.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad too. When was the last time he was on?
I don't know. I forgot the last time I was on. He hasn't come on in a while because November we only got in like 2 shows, and I think you were the guest in November. December we only got in like 1 or 2 shows as well.
Yeah, because that's like with the
And January
finals.
we didn't do a show. We didn't really do shows in January. We just started. So yeah, it's probably been since late October, early November.
Yeah, and it's like there was some
Just-
catastrophic.
echo.
It's like there was some catastrophic event
Yeah,
around that
it's like
time.
we missed.
There was some really just heart-wrenching event during that time period. But we
It
won't
wasn't
talk about
heart wrenching. It was one of the best moments in baseball history. Aaron Judge dropped the fly ball.
I wrote.
I said that purely just to get on your nerves. I said that purely just to bug you out.
I'm just gonna be like Jack Nicholson in anger management, Goose Fraba. But anyway,
What would Gene Simmons do? Think what Gene would do.
but that's what he'd do. But Gene, shout out to Gene Simmons.
Oh yeah, but so it was fun reuniting the OG trio for an episode. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, always good to be with the fellas. And now he's doing.
Yeah, it was
some,
great to be with the fellas.
Now he's doing some young life stuff. God bless,
If
literally.
you want, you could talk about what that is for a couple minutes.
Yeah, so I'm not nearly as involved with it as Vinny, just based on the fact that I'm a commuter and I got a lot of commitments, but it's a really good group, so I'll shout them out. Young Life, it's a Christian youth organization. They meet once a week, typically on Wednesdays, 9 to 10, usually in Romita, which is in the Ryan Library. And it's not, a lot of people think it's just like a Bible or prayer group, and obviously that is involved, but they do a lot of fun activities and all sorts of cool things like that. It's a lot of fun. Our friend Tyler is also heavily involved with it,
Yeah.
as well as his girlfriend McKenna.
I want to get him on an episode. I haven't had him on in a while either.
Yeah, when was the last time he was on?
I know he has his own show, but I haven't had him on mine in a while.
Yeah, he's what is it? Gil podcast or something like
Yeah,
that.
Gil Pod. Shout out Gil Pod. Great
Shout out
show.
Gil Pod. That's this and that. They're tied for my two favorite shows here. What you doing there?
Fixing my knee brace.
Okay. And so yeah.
Went to the gym earlier. I had my knee brace on since. I don't know why I left it on all day.
Well, I guess you got used to it.
Yeah, I did. I forgot I had it on for like 20 minutes and still it started like until my legs started sweating and I had to adjust it.
But that's good though. I like that you're going to the gym. It's good to keep going at it.
Yeah.
You know, get the grind.
Yeah, you got to go to the gym and build muscle.
Yeah, well, I'm also going. Yeah, there it is
Especially if you're
again.
going to be a firefighter. You got to.
Oh yeah, gotta do a few cedar rows. But
Yeah.
that's funny. But yeah, obviously this week, as I mentioned earlier, on account of being in my deathbed, not literally, but it was a little tough. I plan to go back next week. Pete and I were trying to get at the very least a regular routine of going to the gym together. Because it's good when you have a buddy with you. And that's what I recommend too. Just always stay active, even if it's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger pumping iron. Like not everyone expects that out of you. Just do a run, get you 10,000 steps a day. Do something to keep active, keep fit for sure. Like something's better than nothing.
Yeah. So what you like?
Oh, should I? I should.
We're
Perhaps,
gonna do the segment on Jake.
I should perhaps move over there.
Yeah, we're gonna do the voice changer on Jake.
It's gonna be some weird, wild stuff. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I forget the rest of
The lyrics to this song. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I had the mic on mute by accident, so you. Oh, breaking NBA news: Joel Embiid is out for the year. Yes. I know you don't really watch basketball, but
Yeah, I occasionally watch the Knicks every now and then, but Optimum decided to be.
They decided to take away MSG for paying customers, and we are going to stand up and revolt.
oh, by the way,
used-
Optimum brought it back.
They
like,
did?
like a week ago, they announced.
I tried it on my TV, it didn't work. What the hell, Optimum?
You would have to call your local Optimum, but I saw something that Fios and Altice One reached a deal.
Good.
You know who you sound like that right now, Jake?
James Earl Jones. Rest in peace, of course.
Austin.
I am your father.
Wait, really?
No, I just thought it sounded cool. Whatever the quote was.
No, not really. Ming, you sound like you smoked. You sound like you smoked 40 packs of cigarettes a day for 30 years.
I thought it was the other voice again. Simba, when I leave this world, you will lead the pride. Is this? Oh,
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to sports a little bit.
Okay.
You said you watched the Knicks a little bit.
Every now and then. Brunson's my guy.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, every now and then. Brunson's my dude.
Jalen Brunson. Actually, let's do a little fun trivia segment here. Not trivia. Let's do a little fun segment. I did this the other day with my friends over the phone, but we'll do this on the show. Requires me to pull up a picture too, so if I could find the picture.
I'm gonna fail.
No, you're not, because it's not a trivia. It's just
Okay.
questionnaire. Okay. So here, Fox Sports gave their top 10 athletes of currently playing in New York. Now we're going to take Devontae Adams and Malik Neighbors off the list, and we're going to switch them out for Igor Shesterkin and Dexter Lawrence on the Giants instead of Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
And we're going to rank each one. I'm going to tell you You're not going to know the next athlete. I'm going to tell you, and you're going to give me a number 1 through 10 on where you would rank them, and we're going to see how the list looks at the end.
Okay.
So their number 1 is Juan Soto. Where would you rank Soto?
He definitely be, I think, top 3. Yeah. If you're looking for an actual number, yeah, probably like 1 or 2.
And then number 2 is Aaron Judge.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I can tell you again regarding that contention from earlier. I can tell you why he's not my number 1.
Brunson, Fox Sports has Brunson as number 3.
Yeah, that's a pretty concrete list. I like that.
Then they have Francisco Lindor at 4.
Okay, what do you? So that you'd be the better person to ask about that. What do you
That's
think about
perfect.
that? Okay.
Honestly, because I don't like basketball that much, I would put him ahead of Brunson. But
yeah, it's tough for us because for both of us, I would say basketball is like our
Yeah,
third favorite sport.
I would say, and then at 5, they have New York Knick, Karl Anthony Towns. I think that's fine. Consider, even though we took Malik Neighbors and Devontae Adams and put better players on there, I think having a top 5 athletes in no particular order, Soto, Judge, Brunson, Lindor, and Towns is fine. Then number 6, like I said, we're gonna swap out just to make it a little bit better of a list. Would be, instead of Malik Neighbors, they gave. And the only reason I'm taking Malik Neighbors off the list is A, because he was a rookie, and B, I think Dexter Lawrence is the best interior defensive lineman in the league, or top 3 in his position. And I feel like he should have been on this list over Neighbors. So I think Lawrence at number 6 is perfectly fine. I know you don't really watch football much, so you don't probably, you know what I mean? So I'll do the football players, and then Sauce Gardner at 7. Again, when you look at the names on the list, him at 7 is perfectly fine as well. Number 8, which was Devontae Adams here. The reason I didn't put Adams on the list is because there's a high likelihood he's not going to be in New York much longer. So we'll put him with someone that's in New York for the next 9 years, and Igor Shesterkin.
Okay.
I think he should be top 5 actually over Towns. I know he's played up and down this year, but when he's on his game and he's playing, there's maybe 1 or 2 goalies max that are better than Shesterkin. So I definitely think he should be in the top 5 over someone like Towns or Lindor. By that logic, I would just push them back 1 and make them number 6. Here, Fox Sports has number 9 as Giancarlo Stanton. I'm genuinely surprised they put Giancarlo Stanton in the top 10 when you have a lot of other players.
Yeah, that's.
You have, by other players, it's really Shesterkin and Panarin that are missing. They didn't put hockey players.
Oh, Breadman. I know a lot of.
I would say Panarin over. Stanton.
I think yeah. And this is coming from someone who likes the Yankees better than the Rangers, because like the thing about Stanton, not quite to the level of Shesterkin, because like
or Panarin.
Because like the thing is with him, he's had some good moments for sure, but I don't think it's enough to warrant top 10 status. And that does have to do with the fact that Yankees, they do have that legacy there, because there was like 3-4 guys on that list from the Yankees.
Oh, only 2, Stanton and Judge.
Well,
Soto's technically Met now.
He is, but I'm saying, was that like a ranking of 2024, or is it just
now?
Okay, now
going into 2025.
So then
it says currently.
Okay, so
that's why I said.
But
currently.
Still, though, that's what, 2 guys?
Yeah.
So obviously there is that legacy that's probably being put into account. They're probably thinking like we got to put more than 1 Yankee on there.
There's 3 Mets on here, 2 Yankees. Number 10 is Pete Alonso.
That's my birthday, buddy.
I love Pete Alonso, but the only reason I don't think he's in the top 10, especially if people want to leave Giancarlo Stanton in the top 10, again, there's no representation for either New York team or even the New Jersey Devils. I mean, they're not really New York, but metropolitan area, New Jersey Devils. There's no hockey respect on this list. So now what I really wanted to do, but I figured it'd be a little bit harder because I know you don't know football that well, was to give me your top 10 athletes in New York. So what I'll do is I'll go based off the list and give you mine in order.
I think I know who number 1's going to be.
Aaron Judge.
You mean Rodgers?
No, Aaron Judge.
Oh, I thought you were doing like football.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to take this list, but I'm going to make it like my own.
Okay.
Number 1 for me is Aaron Judge, best player in baseball, best hitter in baseball. If he showed up in the playoff more, he would be the best player all around in baseball.
Oh yeah, he'd be S tier if
He'd
it
be
was
a
for
tier.
that.
He's to me. Otani's a great player. Aaron Judge is a better player. Just on the fact too that he plays both ways. He plays offense, defense.
Yeah,
He's the best player in baseball. He's number 1.
yeah. Also, again, we are talking.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say we are talking current standings, obviously.
Yeah, going into the year of 2025.
But still, the fact that 2.5 years ago he got the most home runs in a season, that still shows
Which
that,
is technically the record if you discredit all the steroid users. No. If you
Yeah.
discredit Barry Bonds and all the steroid users, Judge has the record for most home runs in a season.
yeah. And also a little kind of math fun fact about that I like because I'm kind of
You said the word math.
okay. Math.
Math.
That's a bad word.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the subject.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I'm
since
joking,
since
sorry,
I'm a fan of arithmetic facts,
Arithmetic facts.
I found this always kind of interesting. So the previous record holder, as you know, Roger Maris in 1961, who got 61 home runs. So 61 years later, Judge beat it, which means that the person who gets 63, they may do it in 2084. Just keep that year marked on your
Keep
calendar.
that in
guys.
mind. The next New York Yankee to hit 60 plus home runs is going to be in 2083.
Yeah, just
Unless Judge does it again next year.
yeah. Just bear in mind the president at that time is probably watching Coco Melon right now. Just
He's probably
then again, so did the last one. But anyway, but yeah, also with Judge too.
Oh, so the Judge is number 1.
Not also too totally tangential. Nothing with regards to his performance as a player, but just a really nice guy too, all around. He has a All Rise Foundation for underprivileged
No,
students. Good dude.
I dislike the Yankees, but I do love Aaron Judge as a baseball player. I hate that he's on the Yankees because it makes it harder to root for him.
Yeah, I know.
It does. It makes it harder to root for him because I can't root for the Yankees in any situation. I love Judge though, and I wish he went to any other team with the Yankees. I could root for him daily.
Yeah, but anyway, continue with your list. I threw you
Number
off.
2 was Juan Soto. I just honestly the first 2 I flip flopped. I think Judge is number 1 because I think Judge is the best player in baseball. I think Soto's number 2 because I think he's not the second best player in baseball, but he's the second best baseball player in New York. And number 3 is Francisco Lindor. So you have 3 straight baseball players, but I think those are the 3 best players in New York currently. When you look at baseball specifically, those are the 3 best players in baseball that play in New York.
Yeah, I would
Not
actually.
3 best players in the sport, obviously, but baseball wise, they're the 3 best players in baseball.
Yeah, I would actually. Not that this matters as much, but I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
Because again,
It's the whole point is to get your opinion on. I'm giving you the list, and you can give me your opinion.
based on my, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is a Yankee sweatshirt. So that's so Yankees is my favorite team, and thus baseball my favorite sport, I suppose.
Yeah.
So consequently, what I'm trying to say is that I do agree with your stance on that. That's a good top 3.
So the only thing I'm going to change from this list is I'm going to add a couple hockey players, a couple Ranger players,
Mhm.
maybe an Islander. No, there's not really this year specifically. There's no one on the Islanders that's top 10 anyway. I'm going to put a couple Rangers, or just probably 1 or 2 Rangers on there, and change a couple of other players around.
Mhm.
So it's not going to be the exact list that me and Jake listed off. So number 4 is Brunson. Again, I flipped Lindor and Brunson. My number 5 is Sauce Gardner.
Mhm.
I think he's, top 2 corner in the NFL still. He's my number 5. My number 6, Garrett Wilson, draft mate. Sauce Gardner's draft mate.
Mhm.
Maybe could go down if he stays as the Jets' best wide receiver of all time. Besides the point. Number 7, my number 7, and I'm just prefacing the list so I don't mess up online. My number 7 I put was Igor Shesterkin. The reason he's so low is because he's having, like I said, hot and cold, up and down year.
Right.
But I think he's still a top 10 player in New York.
So if he was
If he was on his game, he's
like
top
the whole
3.
time, yeah, he'd be up higher.
Like if he was on his game playing like the way Connor Hellebuck on the Winnipeg Jets is playing, which I know Igor could if he get locks in, he's number 1 or number 2 ahead of he's that good.
Do you think there's like a logical reason as to why he has trouble keeping that consistency, or is it just like
I don't think it's a logical reason. I think what happens a lot of the time is because you see in the playoffs, he locks in the playoffs.
yes,
So I think though in the regular season
He's
feels,
the anti-Judge in terms of hockey.
I think this year specifically, the defense for the Rangers has been so up and down and so bad. You're only getting solid production from 3 guys. You're only getting good production from Fox, and he's playing hurt. You're getting decent production from Miller, and he's played horrific games this year, and Miller's still one of your top 3 defensemen. And Will Borgen, who you traded for midway through the year. Other than that, your defense is up and down. So I think Shesterkin's putting a lot more pressure on him to play at the highest level. And by him doing that, instead of just going out and playing, it's making him play worse. I think he's putting way too much pressure on it, and it's just making him play worse because he's overthinking what he's doing in a game. But I think if he just goes out there and plays, best goalie in hockey.
Mhm.
So he's still top 8 or top 7 in New York. On my list, he's still top 7 in New York. My number 8, Panarin, I had to throw him on there. Yeah, again, like Igor, he's not playing to what you know he could. He's not playing at 120 point pace,
Mhm.
but he's still going to probably finish close to or at a point per game. So at least 82 points.
Mhm.
He's not scoring 40 goals and 100 assists like he did last year, or 90
Right.
assists, but he's still a key part to the Rangers.
Right.
He
One of the
is
more
like,
valuable aspects of the
but he
roster.
is like Aaron Judge. He does disappear in the playoffs.
Right.
He played great last year in the playoffs against Washington, and everybody thought he was going to turn around. And then against Carolina and Florida specifically, he just disappeared.
Mhm.
He was nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
he
no,
had the one game-winning goal again in Game 3 against Carolina. Other than that, I don't think he had a point in that series. He was like probably had points, but he was very invisible outside of Game 3.
Yeah, and it's obvious. I think a lot of it is, a pressure thing, like because obviously if you're inconsistent, it means you do have the capability within you to be a good player. It's just like I think it is just like again the pressure
Yeah.
gets to you.
Yeah, the pressure definitely. Number 9, Dexter Lawrence again, giant. He's in my opinion top 3 defensive lineman in all football. Key part to the Giants' defense. They got to build around him if they want to be competitive soon. They got to build around him on the defensive side. He's this era of the Giants. He could be this generation's Michael Strahan, where he's like the guy on defense. He could be, he could be like that era, like Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, LT. He could be like that high up with those guys. As great as all those guys are, Dexter Lawrence has that potential as well. And then number 10 is I left Pete Alonso at number 10.
Okay. Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good.
Only reason he's at number 10 is because there's not enough players on the Rangers, the Islanders, or whatever to put him in the top, to bump him down right now. Because some of the guys on the Rangers aren't playing to their full potential. If you had guys playing like Adam Fox could definitely edge out Alonso for a top 10 spot in New York if he doesn't play hurt, he plays with full potential. But when you look at how they played into the 2024 season for the NFL and how they're playing in 24-25, I think that's like the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the only change, like I said, Pete Alonso, in my opinion, is the only one that's interchangeable. If you want to throw someone else on there, you could. But I think the best athlete in New York is Judge right now.
Yeah, now he's got that dad strength with him.
Yeah.
So
like I said, he's my favorite player in baseball, but it's very hard to root for him sometimes because he's on the Yankees, and it's as biased as it sounds, as a Met fan, it's very hard to root for the Yankees.
No, I get it for sure. I mean, obviously, I can't relate to that. Well, I guess I could with Soto, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get it. Judges, he's Judge. The judges' chambers, this, that. They got a million slogans for him.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many Judge shirts I have, but yeah, I do get where you're coming from too.
And then you got the Knicks. The Knicks are great. I like the Knicks. The Knicks are great.
Yeah.
Let's go Knicks, guys.
Yeah. Still haven't gone to a Knicks game. That's on my bucket list.
Neither
eventually.
have I. We should go together.
We will. We'll figure it out somehow.
Go Billy and Dom. Shout out Billy and Dom. Because I know they're big Knicks fans.
Yeah.
Billy's a big Knicks fan.
Yeah, because I've been to one Ranger game before, but never a Knicks. So
Was it the Garden?
yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago, but I remember it was fun.
I can't even count how many games I've been to at MSG. I've been to a game in Montreal, great atmosphere. Boston, it's fun. There's a good atmosphere too for hockey. Madison Square Garden is better than both arenas, style-wise. Atmosphere-wise, Montreal's right next to the Garden for a hockey atmosphere. It's insane.
Yeah, I imagine that it would be because that's kind of like
Yeah.
almost like the Graceland of hockey, you know. So they probably
Montreal, yeah.
yeah. So they probably really try to like pump it up there.
No,
you
yeah,
know?
it was great. It was a great game. The Rangers lost in Montreal this year when I went, of course they did, because I can't be too lucky. But
It's
it was a
still
great
fun.
game.
Because like
Great
even
game.
when you go to a Yankees game, like I love going to Yankees game. Like obviously it's better if they win, but if they don't, you still had a fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's like,
No, it was a good game because it was a back and forth, and it ended in overtime, so it wasn't a horrible game. Boston was fun too. Boston, they got blown out, so it wasn't as fun. They got blown out of the water in Boston. I've been to every Rangers outdoor game except the game against the Devils and Flyers. I've been to 2 outdoor games against the Islanders. I've been to Buffalo.
yeah, they have one next year. Isn't it in like Tampa or something like
Yeah,
that?
they're playing in Miami. and
Miami.
I'm
Okay.
dying to go to that game. That game is gonna be so fun.
Yeah, that's around like this time next year, right? Or something like that?
January
January,
2nd.
okay.
Used to be on New Year's Day. I don't know why they changed. I think because New Year's Day the last 2-3 years has been close to a weekend, so there's a lot of college football on. So they changed it to the 2nd.
And people a lot of times, you know, some people party a little too hard on New Year's Eve, so maybe they just want to take it easy the next day. That could be another reason. I don't know. I'm not that. I don't do that, so I don't know. But,
I mean, hockey players are different because hockey they play New Year's Eve. So
well, I don't. I mean the fans more so.
Okay. I thought you were talking about like the players going
No.
out. I'm like, no, hockey players.
No, they lock in when it comes to that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying like the
I was gonna say, 'cause
viewers,
it's not like the Christmas break where they get a week off for the holiday. They play on New Year's Eve.
right? Yeah.
They play New Year's Eve. This year they played New Year's Day, but what they did is they played New Year's Day, but they did a full slate. Actually, no, they played New Year's Eve, and they did a full slate of hockey with the Winter Classic, which messed up the Winter Classic so bad.
Mhm.
And then they put one game, which was the Devils Kings, at 4:00 on New Year's Day. That should have been the Winter Classic game. I mean, I know it's 2 months almost. It literally is almost 2 months.
Mhm.
Tomorrow will be 2 months since that, but they butchered that game so bad.
Well, room for improvement, I suppose.
They had such a perfect thing going. One game on New Year's Day, the outdoor game. It was in the 12:00. It was a 12:00 puck drop. It was perfect. Then they went and moved it. Then they went and changed everything. They put other games on. They took away the spotlight. And, you know, they had the perfect formula. Outdoor hockey once a year. And then they started doing the Stadium Series, which in February, it's basically like the Winter Classic, but dubbed different. It's an outdoor game.
Mhm.
That one's, they call it the Stadium Series because they only play outside of NFL or college football.
Move this.
They really only do Stadium Series, I think, is really only at a football stadium.
Mhm.
They don't, the Winter Classic does football and baseball, outdoor stadiums. Winter Classic only does football, so they call it Stadium Series. It's the same thing, though. It's an outdoor classic
Mhm.
where you sit and freeze your ass off. Trust me, I did it 3 times.
3 times. Okay.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, hold on. So the Rangers played, so far the Rangers have played the Devils, outdoors, the Flyers, which I didn't go to either one of those. They played the Islanders twice. I went to both Islander games, and they played Buffalo. I've been to both Islander games in Buffalo. One Islander game was Yankee Stadium. One was MetLife Stadium. And one was Citi Field, the Winter Classic.
So 2 out of 3 of your stadiums.
Mm-hmm. And then the Devils game was Yankee Stadium too. It's just I didn't go to that game.
Mhm.
And then Philly, I was too young to go. Philly was 2011. We were young, and it was in Philly.
Yeah,
it
you
was
didn't have a bulletproof vest with you at the time.
It was in Philly. It was in the Phillies ballpark. So the fun fact: the Rangers are undefeated outdoors.
That's pretty
They're
cool.
undefeated outdoor,
didn't know
outdoor
that.
hockey.
Hmm.
And the reason I'm talking about outdoor hockey and the Rangers is because there's an outdoor game this weekend. I think it's tomorrow, actually. Either tomorrow or during the week. There's
This is where.
Columbus and Detroit in Columbus. Ohio State Stadium. I don't know what it's actually called. I think it's just called Ohio State Stadium. Ohio State is hosting, and the state of Ohio is hosting its first ever outdoor game.
Wow.
Those are the first ever outdoor game Columbus ever played in. Like this is the first time they've ever got an outdoor game as a home or away team. They're the home team, obviously.
Mhm.
They're playing Detroit, which is cool, but I feel like Detroit's got a few outdoor games. You could have found other teams that had one outdoor game or none that you could have put them in. About like Carolina. Carolina has one outdoor game, I think. Carolina has one. I don't think Montreal has many. Like you could have found teams that have like not as many and that are more rivals to Detroit. I feel like, or more rivals to Columbus. I feel like Detroit's not really that much of a rival unless there's something I'm missing there, and they are big rivals to each other. But that should be a fun game. Both teams are actually turning their season around. And rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau. Columbus is making a push for the playoffs. I would have loved to see Johnny Gaudreau on a playoff pushing Columbus team. That could have been special, man. Like he's special talent.
Well, be there in spirit, maybe. I don't know, but
He was a special talent, man. He was a great player. Died way too young.
yeah, it's a shame when that happens.
Yeah, that was horrible. He was a great player. Team USA icon too. He played great for in international tournaments.
How old was he when he passed?
32, 33.
Ooh, yeah, that's. I mean, of course, it's rough at any age, but wow, 32.
Yeah. Yeah. So the hockey's, I can't wait for that outdoor. I'll probably watch the outdoor game. I think it's actually tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look really quick before we end the show. Let's look
Tomorrow
at
night. That might conflict with another thing you got going on. I don't know if you want to tell them about that or.
Oh no, yeah, it is tomorrow. Yeah, it is at Ohio Stadium. Begins 6:00. It's actually a huge game for both teams. All right, and with that, we'll end today's show.
All right.
We did a little yapping at the end because I kind of ran out of like full on idea to talk about.
Well, but that's what it's for. You just branch off into whatever.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. We'll be back probably next week. I don't know if it'll be the same guest, different guest. I have a few people that want to come on, so we're trying to work out what everybody's schedule.
Well, I'm just glad I can get on here when I do because it's always a.
You're
good
welcome.
time.
You're welcome every week if you want.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to be here, and thank you, the audience that I can't see. But
yeah. So thank you guys for watching.
all righty, see y'all.
Just sit here for like 2 minutes while I go turn off.
All righty, get my jacket. It's still going.
Yeah. I have to go shut it off.
Oh yeah. See, I don't do this. Yeah.